Harsha's Nations project is one I've been tracking for many years, and I'd always wanted to show it in Australasia somewhere. New Zealand is a long, long way away from the rest of the world. Nations has never been seen in the Southern Hemisphere before, and it's something I'm extremely proud of we've been able to do in this project.
I mean, it's all started with a very funny event which happened in my house. One of my sister-in-law had a sewing machine, and I came out of the bathroom and I just threw a towel onto this machine, and it happened to be a striped towel. And after all that, I saw that machine, I was so inspired, it looked like a flag. Started looking at different kinds of possibilities. Vijay, in fact, went to the market and brought a children's book. It's actually a book of representation of the world flags, and it had full of mistakes, which I loved. So that's what we decided to just pick up and work on all the flags. So it doesn't match the colors what actually are, or the kind of proper placement of the stars, or the motifs. So I really like this playfulness of the children's book, and this whole idea of representation and trying to remember which flag is where. And so that's where the playfulness of it, that's where I got inspired. And so United Nations scared me, and the children's book invited me. So it's as simple as that.
We realised that we had this enormous task of 192 treadle sewing machines. I thought there may be a couple in New Zealand. I was very unsure and unclear about this. But my assistant on this project, Meredith Robertshaw, understood that this was something that really could speak to the hearts and minds of the local community. And she was very astute and very determined and had enormous faith in the community. She communicated through the press and through social media, and to my enormous surprise, within a week, we suddenly realised this was a possibility. Not only that the local community and the people that own these sewing machines, who love these sewing machines, who have many stories associated with these sewing machines, embrace the project wholeheartedly.
Each time when we install this piece, it has a very special challenge, because you need to somehow breathe the space with the work. It's not just placing a 192 machine on the floor and just forget about it. It's not as simple as that, because it has to have some kind of an extension, and you have to somehow mold the whole thing. As you can see in the back, sort of the whole piece is going up the wall. That exercise was never happened before. So it comes from the space. It was inspired by the space, and so I've reacted to the space in a way.
What's happened with this project is that Nations has been completely embraced and owned by the Taranaki community. He describes himself as being somewhat external to this project now. He's just one of the contributors to this project. It's not his project anymore. It is owned by the people of Taranaki. And so for the first time, these three threads have actually woven together. Because if you look closely at this project, it's also a painting, it's also a sculpture. So for him, it's made him rethink his whole approach to his practice. And that is an extraordinary, exciting process to be a part of.
I'm so grateful for the Taranaki, the people who had this trust in the piece to give their objects, which must be very sort of emotional objects, because they're grandparents and all that. So I think it's fantastic to have this kind of extension of how you make art, sort of somehow you source these objects and then you just return the piece to them. I wonder sometimes how they perceive this object which has come back performing something suddenly somewhere outside. It might be a special object for them from now on. It has this funny situation in his lifetime. You never know, how do you know when you start and finish in art is always a complex question. People ask me this question, like, how did it all start? And I never know, to be honest. And how did you finish? I never know. It just finishes, like it's on its own. And sometimes you get this feeling, okay, you're done, you're tired, maybe.